Okay. Sorry for the mess. There was a plugin on in my browser that was acting up, causing the browser to crash, and then that would just kind of cause a cascade of problems after that. Cascading failure after that. Let's see. Good enough for now, do you think? Let's see. Don't want it to be too small. Yeah, maybe I should use Firefox. For next time, I'll consider it. Okay, so let's get on with this build already. Sorry for the delays. We got a lot of stuff to do here, a lot of stuff to try out. So let's get moving. First thing, I'm just gonna quickly make sure the PCB is working properly. Don't want to have any surprises later for that, so go here. Yeah, those stabs are ready for action, man. They're just itching to get in there and do some work. Yeah, man. So let me pull up this keyboard tester. See if we got it working. See if we got a working PCB here. I'm guessing that it comes flashed with a working firmware, but I don't know. So we'll see. Okay. Got the default QMK red LEDs coming out. Oh, that's right. Alright, that's good. What's up? Okay, PCB looks fine. Let's move on to installing the stabilizers. Can everybody see okay? Does this look visibility good? Maybe I'll zoom out a little more. Okay, let's get the stabs on. Obviously we have left shift. So for tonight, I'm going to be using an unusual switch. It is an alias housing from KBD Fans with the halo stem and a slow curved sprit spring and and I've applied Kin switch films from TX keyboards. So I'm excited for this setup. Should be really cool. And I think only one of these positions will fit the 6.25 U space bar. So I think it shouldn't be too hard to tell which. Yeah, that's right, only one. Yep, this must be the 6.25U space bar. So the difference between slow curved springs and usual springs is the slow curved springs are longer. So that's physically what's different about them. Now what effect that has is that the force that it takes to push this spring, the force that it takes to push the switch down doesn't change as much from the start of the key press to the end of the key press compared to a regular non-slow curved spring. Let's see here. To move this up just a touch. Yep. Sushi's right. Okay, so let's screw these bad boys together. I'm using little fiber washers because I don't want to bother checking whether this PCB will be shorted by the head of the screw, and I don't want to just rely on the assumption that the designer thought about that. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, so I just always use a washer. You know what I mean? I always put washers on the stabilizer screws so that this stabilizer screw can't bridge two different electrical contacts together and somehow damage my PCB or make it not work properly. Even if it doesn't damage it, it can do things like it can make key presses register that shouldn't. And so I like the washers. Love, love, love to use washers. So how many people here joined this Space65 group buy? Anybody else building theirs or built theirs already? Or planning to build theirs? Or are any of you guys in the market for a Space65 on the aftermarket? I need to there we go, auto exposure lock. It seems to me like they were pretty inexpensive on the in the group buy. I mean, $225 I think for the version I bought. I think it's pretty nice for that price. I feel like we're seeing more and more really nice value keyboards that are actually something you could be proud of. Like Another example, KBD67 I think looks pretty good at that price point. The novel keys 65. Here's a good example, by the way, of why I always use the washers. Do you see this screw right here? So this would definitely touch the those two LED contacts. So if you happen to turn on your backlight, your LED backlighting, you know, right there you'd have a dead short for that circuit that's supposed to power that LED. So depending on how the PCB is designed, it could be a big deal or not. It might not be a big deal, but it's not going to be good. I mean, I think best case scenario, you're gonna have the resistor that's in series with that LED is probably going to get really hot, possibly burn a trace. Maybe some overcurrent protection might kick in on the keyboard. I don't know. It's not going to be good though. Not something you want. So that's why I really like to use the washers all the time. And stabilizer screws. Almost done with stabs. I just have one more little step to do. Sorry if I'm moving slow. This is my first nice custom keyboard build, so I'm trying to take my time and make sure I do a good job. In fact, okay. One more shill post. Okay. Ooh, NK65. Yeah, man, what a steal. So last thing I like to do here with my stabs before I move on. You might think I'm crazy, but I like to just put a bunch right there. A bunch of grease right there. All right. Now I'm just gonna double check. mkultra.click has very generously provided me with a piece of foam that sits between the PCB and the switch plate. And so I'm gonna build this keyboard without it and then with it and compare. So I'm just gonna first see if the orientation of these foam cutouts is correct for this keyboard, because I actually bought this for the KBD67 keyboard, and if it happens to fit, great. If not, I'll have to trim it to make it fit. So looking at it, looks like a perfect fit. Looks like it fits exactly. Let me just make sure I don't feel any interference from the stabilizers. Should be fine. So let's get on with it. Let's get on with the build. So these are the switches I was talking about that I'm going to use for this build. I think they're pretty cool. They have a halo stem, alias housing, TX keyboard switch film, and they've been lubed with Turbosis 3203. Oh, and the springs are sprit, I think they're 60 gram slow curve, so they're pretty light. I went light with these, so that'll be fun. See how yeah, it looks nice, doesn't it? I'm gonna start tacking it in place with a few switches here and there. Then I'll put in the rest of the switches. So this fit of the switches to the PCB is kind of loose. Some PCBs the switches really, like the gate-around switches really you have to jam them in tightly. Not this one. That might be nice if you're building with something like pandas that fit really tight to the PCB holes. So you might struggle less than you would usually. Yep. Gotta match. Everything needs to match. Right? Why not? You never seen a person build a keyboard on stream, huh? Well, if you stick around, you're about to. Welcome, by the way. I'm actually going to build this keyboard twice. Can you believe it? Yeah, this keyboard's probably, you should probably say that it's mainly about the aesthetics of it. It'll also sound cool, I think. We'll see. Hopefully. Let's see, so that's the outermost hole. And then the next one goes to the also leftmost hole. Okay. They both go leftmost. I got those in the right place. Okay, so those three all go to the leftmost position. Okay, easy enough. All right, let's get moving here. Alright, soldering time. Just adjust something real quick here. It's a little more clear now. What do you need for affiliate still? You know, that's a good question. I don't actually know. I haven't taken the time to look into it yet. Probably need to stream more consistently, more days, more time. I'm not sure actually. Yeah. Sophia Wolf. Don't bend the pins this time. Yeah, I'll try not to. Not that I meant to last time either. But accidents happen. So what do you guys think? Step caps or non-step caps? Who likes step caps? I know what I like, but I'm curious what you guys think. What you guys prefer. Actually, before I say that, let me just see if I even have the option of step caps, because I might not have the option now that I think of it. You know what, forget it. Sorry, my bad. Forget what I said. I don't have step caps in the set that I'm going to use tonight, so we'll just do non-step caps, which is, you know, I feel like on a keyboard like this with the more modern kind of theme going on, I don't think we need step caps on a keyboard like this, so we'll just do regular caps. I think the step caps looks more retro. What do you guys think? Anyway, the set that I have to use, yeah, Step caps, looks like, I don't have one right here. You want to know what step caps looks like? I'll show you. This is stepped caps lock. Actually, this one's stepped and windowed. Yeah, see how he's got a raised area? That's what stepped caps looks like. I tend to like stepped caps on a retro looking build. But since this is on like a modern space themed build, I figure not necessary. Well, some people here might know the history more than me, but as far as I know about the step caps, the reason for it is that the advantage is supposed to help you not accidentally hit caps lock with your pinky when you're typing, and it's supposed to look cooler. That was a KBD Fans 8X TKL. I really like the way these switches with their little blue films look, the matching switch films on this carbon fiber plate. It's really fun aesthetic. I'm glad I went with these. I was gonna do T1s, but I have to say, the reason I didn't go with T1s on this build, nothing against T1s, but I had lubed and filmed my T1s and put lighter springs in, and I messed them up. The springs I put in were too light. So I didn't feel like my T1s were ready for prime time. I want to go back and put different springs in them. I think I put 62 gram non-slow curve springs, so the regular length, shorter length springs that are 62 grams. And they just didn't feel like the return was reliable. Like the return felt kind of sluggish. Like that spring was having a hard time returning with that super tactile leaf and stem that they have in the T1 switch. It just didn't feel like a good combination to me. So these switches, on the other hand, feel fast and fluid to me, and they just feel right. So I thought I'd build with some switches that I feel good about, that are ready to go. Not something that's gonna feel kind of sketchy. Just making sure that the PCB in this is seated to the switches all the way. Then we'll start cooking along. see. Okay. Right. Looking good. Somebody asked me earlier if I thought there was enough room in the case to do burger mount. Looking at it now again, these side ones probably, but this middle one I would say no. Unless you want to, these three on the bottom, I doubt that there's enough room there. Could be wrong. Oh, in fact, yeah, never mind. So the plate actually will touch this metal, so you're not going to be able to do a burger mount on this keyboard. Not. I guess if you just wanted to put an O-ring between the plate and the screw head, you could, but that's not really burger mount, right? That's just, I don't know what the point of that would be. So I think burger mount's out on this keyboard. Sorry. Anybody who wanted to do that. Well, that's a really simple build. Good for a first time custom. So burger mount is when you have an O-ring between basically, if you imagine a hamburger and the bread is the two pieces of bread are an O-ring and the meat is the plate, and that's the idea of burger mount. So you've got an O-ring under the plate and an O-ring over the plate, so that you're trying to isolate the plate from the case and from the screws using O-rings. Let's boig them out. Oh, okay. Just need my tool. Allen wrench. I'm going to be using Calm Depths tonight. GMK Calm Depths. Yeah, why aren't they symmetrical? So, I'm not going to bother putting on the rubber feet because this mat that I'm working on is rubber. It's a silicone rubber, and I'm going to be taking the keyboard apart again directly after we do some typing tests. So I'm not going to put on the rubber feet because they cover up the screw holes. So I'll wait until my second build of the keyboard to put the feet on, because that hopefully will be the final build. But maybe not. I might want to try some other things, like something in the bottom of the case. Alright, let's keycap it up and see how it sounds. I need to wipe my hands with a microfiber rag and alcohol first to make sure I don't get any of this grease onto my keycaps. Actually, before I do that, let me make sure that everything still works. I didn't mess anything up. It's a process of soldering. Make sure all the switches are still working. Okay. Down, left, and backslash. Looks like I made a mistake. So I need to fix a little bit of fixing needed real quick. I should have tested that before I screwed the back on. Live and learn, live and learn. Are you using screw-in stabilizers? Are you asking me? I am using screw-in GMK stab housings and Zeal stab sliders. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Pretty cool looking case. conical soldering tip. No, it's flat on the tip. The tip of it's flat. It's here, I'll show you. It's an old tip, but it's supposed to be flat. Maybe it's worn down by now. It's like kind of flat-ish. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if the camera can focus on that. Anyway. It's a little bit flat. Okay, everything should be working now. Yep, keys that weren't working are working now. Good. So let's do a little, put some keycaps on. So these switches are alias housings with halo stems. Yeah, this is very satisfying. Yep, GMK Calm Depths. I think it works okay on this keyboard. I had it planned for a different keyboard, so I might change this. I'll probably change this keyboard to a different set later, because I probably need this set for a different build. But for now, we can use it to do our test, our sound tests. That's something I really want to do here. With my little shift. This is a baby shift. I'm looking for, hopefully. Oh, I love GMK compatibility. Everything, all the nice layouts supported. Whoops, although that was not the right key that I just put on. But still, I love the compatibility of GMK sets. Really cool. Pretty sure they have the key that I'm looking for. One of my other sets has it. Yeah, actually there's going to be 2 sound tests, just so you know. There's going to be without foam, then I'm going to put in the plate foam so we can see how much difference it makes. So you might want to stick around for that too, maybe. Maybe the key I want isn't here after all, but that's not the right profile, is it? No, that's not. That one. That one. Okay, so maybe it doesn't have a page down. I can use end though. If that's the right profile, I'll use end. That's close enough. I'll just use home and end. Wait, in the middle. What were you saying? Oh, there's the step caps. That's okay. Second last row in the middle. I tried this one. It's I don't think it's the right. This one is the one you're talking about? This is I don't think so, but I'll check. You might be right, I'll check. Nah, this on the left is the profile I need, so R4 I guess. I don't think there's an R4 page down in this set. Or if there is, I haven't seen it. R4 page down. So that's not R4. I don't know. This is the other page down, and that's definitely not the right one. It's fine, I'll just use home and end. Yeah, I wonder if it's a mistake. This is like a, what is this, like R1 page down? I don't know. Well, it's fine. That's not the right profile either, is it? Need R3. Let's check that one. That's weird. Yeah, it seems like the compatibility is a little bit less than what I'm used to here. I'm just gonna put the wrong row profiles on since both of them I don't have the right one. So just for page up and page down, I'm just gonna not worry about it. I have not put the foam in yet, so I'm gonna do a typing test without the foam, and then I'll put the foam in and compare. That way you can see before and after. Yeah, the foam plate thing will come in a little while. We're not quite there yet. Just a little bit. A little bit later. First I gotta do the before, then I'll do the after. test. Coming right up. I'm going to use this to help get the keyboard in the same position. So I want it to be in the same position for the before and for the after. Okay. Okay. Okay, sounds pretty good, I think. Anything else you want to hear before we switch to the phone? Any requests? Okay, let's get started. Yes, now these are alias housings with halo stems and sprit slow curved springs. I think they're 60-gram springs, I want to say. Yeah. Holy alias. you could call them too. You want a meme name? Alright, let's see here. Chances of breaking something while pulling switches, I'm gonna say 0. Probably, maybe if you have like some either switches or keycaps that are not in very good condition, or if you're dealing with Alps, for example, you might have a chance of breaking something. But I think if you're dealing with pretty much brand new stuff and you're careful removing the keycaps, you're not going to break them. If you pull them straight, don't tweak them too much when you're pulling the keycaps. They shouldn't break. Yeah, the chances is almost 0, I would say. I haven't had anything break yet during the course of pulling keycaps, so I think it's unlikely. That's when you're using like GMK. That's when you're using nice keycaps and nice switches. If you're using some kind of janky keycaps that fit like super tight because they're sized wrong, I have heard of people breaking, like I've heard of the entire switch coming apart. Like you have to pull the keycap so hard that the whole top of the switch comes off. Yeah, I've heard of stuff like that happening. But that was with like some janky off-brand stuff. I think if you're dealing with quality keycaps, it's probably not going to happen. And quality switches, like you're not using some weird switch that has oversized stems so that they fit too tightly, and you're not using some weird keycaps that fit too tightly, then it's not going to happen. Yep, exactly. Sometimes eBay or AliExpress off-brand stuff, that can happen too. GMK is about as good as it gets at tolerances, so GMK caps, I'd be surprised if it ever has happened. Pudding caps. I have some of those. Should I have used them tonight instead? I can get them right now. Should I put pudding caps on the next time? I'll tell you what, we'll put the foam in and then I'll put pudding caps on and we can see which sounds better. Pudding caps with foam or GMK without foam. Right? That'll be more fun, wouldn't it? Compare. We'll change 2 variables at once. That'll be really scientific. Then we won't know what's what. I jokingly call it keyboard science, but some of what I do, I actually try to be scientific in that, testing, trying to be scientific as much as I can. But sometimes it's just a meme to say keyboard science, because some of it's more keyboard tinkering, but I think you could call some of it science. I've heard of Ripster. It's supposed to be. I've actually seen maybe all of his posts. I'm not sure if I've seen them all. I've seen a bunch of them where he tested different lubes using, he like set them outside and see how much they ran and how much he'd put like a ball bearing and see how much it would roll or something like that. I read a whole bunch of his posts. Seemed like good stuff. Seems like he had fun with it, testing things like that. It's pretty cool, man. I'm just gonna set these aside. Save time. I'm gonna warm up my desoldering gun. That's the noise you'll hear now. You'll hear the humming and whirring in the background. Desoldering, getting ready. This probably won't take as long as you might think, so I know it's getting late. This was the only time I could do it, but take heart knowing that it's probably not going to take much longer. Not a heck of a lot longer. Alright, the desoldering gun is warming up. It's not warm yet. Need to give it a minute. Good night, Slim Thickens. Thanks for joining. Hope you like this awesome keyboard. You can watch on YouTube later if you want to see the comparison, the before and after the foam. I'll be posting it on YouTube as well. So don't worry, you're not going to miss anything. I think it's about ready. Alright. Let me check something real quick. Not getting as good a suction as I expected. Just make sure there's no problems here. One sec, let me just change the filter. It's kind of old. Might be getting clogged up a bit. You know, there's like a fiber filter. I think it's getting a little clogged. Been doing a lot of desoldering. A few of them here. Let's throw a new one in. Let's get better suction. It's weird. I think my other filter might be a little clogged. I'm gonna check. I'm not getting a great section here. Ooh. Yeah, I think. One sec. I haven't ever changed this one. I think this one's clogged. Okay. Change that real quick. See if it helps. Give that a shot. Alright. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, I think that other filter was clogged. Oh yeah, this is much better. Still awake? Did that put you to sleep? The first few that I did might not have come out all the way because the soldering iron wasn't working properly, so I think I'll start down with the later ones where the desoldering iron was working properly. Then I'll move to the early ones that might need some extra help. Cool. Good having you. Take care. Tuxkey. Don't forget to catch the VOD later for the before and after comparison. So the wiggle method definitely works better. I don't know why I forgot that. Thought I redid the top row. Guess I didn't. These are the ones I did when the filter. These are the ones I did at first when the filter was clogged. Okay, we're at turning point here. It's time to start with the foam. Oops, I'm gonna put this back before I forget. Okay. Here is, show you close up here. Here is the plate foam from mkultra.click. First time I've ever tried something like this. I mean, I've tried something like this, but first time I've tried this particular product, I should say. So this, you just put it between the PCB and the plate. And this one was intended for, I think, a KBD67, but it fits this keyboard as well, so good deal. Also fits the Space65, fortunately for me. Yeah, everything looks fine here. Now, put in some switches to kind of line everything up. Now I think with this foam, it's probably going to need to compress a little bit. That's what I think I read. Yeah, it's got to compress just a tiny bit. So I'll get a helping hand here to hold this in for me, to hold the switch in place while I solder a few, just to hold the foam in, to hold the foam compressed. So I've clamped that to the switch and then to the back of the PCB. Yeah. That'll make sure the foam's squished down as much as it needs to be. I'll tack that on with some solder joints. Probably do a couple more. Keep things held in place. Maybe come from this side, it'd be easier. Yeah, I think that'll be a bit easier. Oh, no, it won't. I'm covering up the pins. Okay, never mind. First try was better. It actually doesn't need much pressure. It only needs a little bit of pressure to compress the foam. The foam it's hardly any pressure. The foam is just barely compressing. So, which is probably a good thing. I mean, I don't want to put a lot of extra strain on the switch pins for no reason, but it's good that it is compressing a little bit, because that means that it's definitely touching both sides, the PCB and the plate. You know, it's not just sitting there flopping around loose inside. It's actually sandwiched together, turning the PCB and plate and foam into one big sandwich, one solid kind of a lamination type of a thing. See there? See the foam in between? So I think I'll put a couple switches, a few switches around the edges, and then I'll just start cooking along, soldering them all, the rest of them in. Start with some on the edges to keep the foam compressed and line everything up. I actually feel this foam is pretty helpful on a build like this because these switches, these alias housings, don't fit super tightly into this plate. And so having this foam there is an extra, you know, a little extra something to keep the plate from riding down on the switch. So that's kind of a nice little bonus, side bonus of having the foam there. Almost seems on a build like this where the switches fit the plate so loosely, almost would like having the foam even if it doesn't change the sound, just for the sake of holding everything in place. But that's debatable, I guess. I think some of these I can just use my hands. Don't really need so much force of the clamp. It's just not having enough hands. I kind of wish I had some weaker clamps because these seem like overkill, but this one seems like overkill. Something went wrong over here. This switch, I think. That's the problem. Ah, I see. Okay, there is a slight problem here. This foam. Okay, you see where the side LEDs sit? There's not really enough. This board is at a 90-degree angle and sticks out farther from the regular board, and it's digging into that foam right there, so that's not going to work because that's pushing up. So I'm going to need to shave that off. Just a little bit of foam right there. So I would say this KBD65 or 67, if you use the KBD67 foam on your Space65, you probably want to do a little surgery on it first to shave off that little bit where the side indicators are. After all this work, I think I don't want to be too careless about that, so I think I'll just quick desolder and correct that little spot where it's not, where it doesn't quite fit. It just stinks having to wait for the desoldering iron to warm up again. Let's see, I did this one. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I just soldered a few. Oh yeah, somebody asked earlier which desoldering station I use. I use a ZD915. It's been good so far. You just really have to keep on top of making sure that the filters aren't clogged, as you saw tonight. Clogged filter. With this thing, if you lose suction due to a clogged filter, it makes a really big difference. Okay, people, here's the deal. This is important. If you decide to use this foam on your Space65, this is the part you need to pay attention to, I guess, if anything. If you try to use the KBD67 foam on the Space65, here's where you'll have trouble. Right here. See how this daughterboard kind of thing sticks out and hits the plate foam. So it should be easy to fix for now. See that? I'll just do a little snip cut out for it. Let's see. Yeah. Now I'm sure if this turns out to be a useful thing, I'm sure he can make one that already has this cut out. If somebody just lends him their keyboard. Because I know it's not hard for him to make new foams to support all kinds of different keyboards. He does it all the time. It's already got a whole library of keyboards that he supports, so no biggie. He can make one that has this cut out already there, or something similar. But I'm not going to wait. I want to get this built, and it's small enough modification. I don't mind doing it myself here. Just a minor thing. Okay, that looks like it should work. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're good. Well, hang on a sec. Something's weird here. Okay, did I miss something else? Let's see. Stabilizer. Nope, I think that's got it. I think we're good here. Yeah, if you install this plate foam, you might want to think about some kind of a tool like what I'm using to clamp things together. I think it's probably gonna help you a lot versus trying to do that by hand. Could be difficult to try to do by hand unless you have 3 hands. Alright, let's see. Let me see, does this look adequately compressed all around now? Like if I put a switch here, is it gonna... No. I think I'm gonna have to compress more frequently, like every few switches to really make sure that it's compressing right. I mean, I know it doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just gonna do a couple more here that are clamped. I'm gonna clamp a couple more before I start throwing them all in without clamps. Unless you know what I can do? This might seem kind of weird, but I can do this. I can solder the switch, then I can squeeze it with my hand, heat up the joints. Did you hear that noise? And it'll compress the rest of the way, and then let it cool off. So I'll just do a few that way because I don't want to be here all night. Just put a little solder on. Did you catch what I mean? So what I'm gonna do for some of these to save time is I went ahead and soldered the switch, but then it wasn't compressed, the foam wasn't compressed, so then I'm gonna squeeze with my hand and I'm just gonna heat up these 2 joints a few times. And if you heard that snapping noise, that was the switch reseating itself to where the foam is completely compressed now. So I'll just do that on a few of these switches, because then there'll be more pressure all around holding the foam compressed, but I won't have to figure out a way to position that clamp every time, which is kind of a pain. Oop. So once again, I'm going to take this switch I just soldered, I'm going to squeeze oops. This one didn't move much. I think it's because the foam's already pretty well compressed in this area. So that's actually a good sign. That one didn't move either. Okay, well, I think this foam is bowing. I think the PCB is a little bit bowed right here, so I'm going to do this switch. I think the foam needs to compress a little right here. Let's check it out. Yep, did you hear that sound? It moved while the solder was melting. Now we have a more even compression right there. That's looking pretty good. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. Let's take a look here. The bottom row finished. See, it's gotten compressed enough to the point where I'm adding switches and they're not I'm not feeling the foam able to compress anymore, so I think we're pretty good. I think we're in good shape. That one compressed a little bit, but okay. So this whole process of rebuilding with the foam is taking longer than I expected, but I think it'll be worth it so that we can really give it a good comparison before and after. Without too many unknowns. You know, everything's the same. The switches are the same, keyboard's the same day, same microphone position. I'm trying to make everything as much the same as I can here. Okay. We're pretty good here. All right. I think we're to the point where things are sufficiently compressed with the foam. We can just pop the switches in and solder them now. Things are all held tightly together now at this point. Happy with how that looks. Lovely keyboard. It'd be nice to finally have it finished for the time being. Let's roll. Oh, that switch wasn't in all the way for some reason, but I fixed it. Let's see, what about this one? Ow, that was hot. Let's see, is this one in all the way? Yeah, that one's fine. I think we're good. Oh, what the heck? Is it just a bent pin? I guess so. Just bent a little bit. It looked shorter because it was bent a little bit. Oh, what the heck? That didn't look right. Oh, another bent pin. Yeah, okay, that's fine. False alarm. Ooh, what the heck? That doesn't look right. One of my switches is... I need a... Got a problem here. One of my switches is... The top's partially come off. Probably happened when I was pulling them out after desoldering. Got a little rough with that one switch, it looks like. Let me correct that real quick. We can keep soldering the rest meanwhile, while the desoldering gun warms up. Okay. Bottom row finished already. Where's the one that's screwy? Oh yeah, it's this one. Backslash. Okay. Let's see, what went wrong here? Strange. Looks fine. I think I just soldered it in crooked because of the ISO enter spot, support for ISO enter, it's actually possible for you to, if you clamp the switch, it's possible for you to rock it like this and get it crooked. That's what I did. It was my mistake. I just need to hold it, you know, firmly, and I just need to make sure it's in the right position. I was trying too hard to clamp it down for the sake of compressing the foam. I actually pushed it this way where there's no plate supporting because of the, you know, universal plate. So, no big deal. Easy to fix. Just resolder it in the right position. Right alignment. Should be fine. Okay. functionally we're good. I don't see any obvious issues. Let's button her up and see how she sounds. Finally to that point. We can do a comparison. Might not be able to really do the comparison until I go back and edit the video and, you know, cut a clip from before right next to a clip from after. Because I mean, I don't remember well enough what it sounded like before to be sure what the difference was. So probably need to use video editing for that. But we'll get the recording made. I think at this point, if it sounds bad with the foam, I'll probably just leave it. I mean, yeah. Can you imagine? Oh, doesn't sound better. Time to desolder again. Hey, you know, I figure no harm. As long as it doesn't sound worse. Jeez, can you imagine? I put it together and I'm like, oh, this sounds terrible. I gotta desolder it again. Sounds pretty good so far. I mean, it's hard because it sounded good before too, if you ask me. So yeah, the challenge here is for us to figure out whether it actually improved. Kind of a, yeah, definitely gonna need the edit for this one. I don't think it's obvious enough for me to remember how it sounded before versus now. I only had a few minutes with it before taking it apart. It only lived for a few minutes in its first form. And this might not even be its final form, because another comparison I want to do is I also want to see how the sound, if and how the sound improves by adding something under the PCB as well. That's the next thing I want to try. It definitely looks nice. I think the calm depths color looks pretty good with, goes pretty well with the blue here. Okay. Now, one sec. Let me turn off the air conditioning because I don't think it was on the first time around. That extra noise. Just waiting for the AC to turn off. There we go. All right, let's do this. Sounds pretty good to me. Yeah. Does the foam affect the feel? Boy, that's a tough question. I don't notice an effect on the feel. Not that I can tell, but I think I need to wait. I think I need to wait to see the video edit, because my first impression is I feel like it sounds a little bit different, but I'm not sure. You know what I mean? I think it might. I think it does. I think it sounds a little more low-pitched. I feel like some of the high-pitched noise has been attenuated, possibly. But the best way to tell will be for us to look at the video edit. So I think I'll just go ahead. I was thinking about adding something to the back, but I like how it sounds, so I think I'm not going to bother adding anything under the PCB right now. Yeah, I think I'll worry about that later, or not at all, because I actually like how it sounds. I don't think I want to change it, so I don't expect that adding to the, I don't think adding something to the bottom would make it sound worse, but I just really like how it sounds, and so it kind of seems pointless to me if I already like how it sounds. I do need to figure out what I did with the feet, though. Here they are. So I think I'll quickly edit together the before and after, try to get an idea, and I'll post it on my YouTube channel. If you don't know my YouTube channel, where I'll be sharing these results of the video edit, it's called on YouTube. It's called Walker's Keyboard Science, and I'll probably also link to it in the Space65 Discord, and probably in the Top-Clack Discord, because I'm in both of those and participate in both of those. So I'm liking it a lot. I'm loving this keyboard so far. I think it's quite gorgeous. The colors really go well with this. I think the colors really go well with this key set. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Yeah, this is my first custom keyboard group buy. So it's 3:30 a.m. so I'll probably get to bed here. But thanks everyone for tuning in. I think this is a really cool keyboard. I'm really happy how it turned out. Maybe take some pictures later too. Basically, I looked it over, by the way, and no blemishes, no issues with the ano, nothing. Just pretty much perfect. So I feel fortunate that my first serious keyboard group buy was such an affordable keyboard for what you get, such a good bargain for what you get, and sounds so cool. I thought maybe it wouldn't sound that good since it's so small. Thought it would, you know. I always heard that small keyboards in general don't sound very good, but I'm happy with how it sounds. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.